Hello Panthers, my name is Laura Tattale and I'm one of the counselors at the Counseling Center. Today we're going to talk about a strategy to create art for daily inspiration. So you may be aware of those word-a-day calendars or perhaps just a daily calendar. So with that in mind, we're going to create a 7-day inspiration rather than one for every month or rather than one for every day of the year. However, if you've got the time and you have the the creative juices right now, I certainly encourage you to spend time thinking through what could inspire you throughout the year. The way that we're gonna set this up, you only need perhaps something like note cards or cardstock, paper that's a little bit thick and sturdy. That way you can be reusing it. And because we're making a model based on one inspiring message for each day of the week, we're going to be reusing these. So regular paper probably isn't going to be your best choice. It's a little too flimsy and it might get torn pretty easily. You can, once we get this started, you can decide what's the best way to implement it to give you inspiration, but cardstock or index cards and some markers. So let's get started. So when I think of inspiration that can help me improve my mood and help me build resilience, the first word that comes to my mind is nurture. So for the way that my brain thinks and what would help me with my reminders is if it's in a landscape orientation, but for you, if it helps for it to be portrait and that catches your eye, that's totally fine. But one of the reasons nurture stands out for me is that it's important for us to be doing things every day that's going to help us give us what we need. And so thinking about taking care of yourself the way you might take care of a friend or a loved one or a plant or a garden, thinking about what is it that you need today or this week or this month to help you really grow and thrive. Maybe what helps you and what you need is something active like getting out for a run. Maybe you need something calming and soothing like yoga. Maybe you need something restorative like a warm shower or bath. But just taking some time for your first day to think, what do I need to nurture myself, take care of myself, so that I can really grow and thrive. The next word that I think of is present. Being here in the moment, in the now. It's really hard for us to do, particularly in our current society. We're busy, we're overscheduled, we're stressed, but what can we do to help ourselves focus on the now? So it might be deep breath. So for me, that's gonna look like, I don't know, what I imagine an exhale will look like. If you do choose to use this word, what's it gonna look like for you to illustrate what it means to be in the present? Sometimes our brains are so focused on worrying about what's going to happen next in the future or what's already happened in the past. And so one thing you can do is slow down, take a breath, just to notice the sensations in your body of breathing, to let you focus on just what's happening this moment. The next word that I'm thinking, maybe, if you start your week on a Monday, then this would be your Wednesday word. One word that stands out to me is the word hope. And recently I saw hope also be an acronym that can also not only just thinking about that things can get better in the future, but to think of it as a shorthand for hold on, pain ends. This is linked to trying to be in the present. None of our intense feelings can last forever. So if we give ourselves just a little bit of time, the pain can pass, and things can change. Pain does end. Another word that brings me inspiration, and hopefully it does to you too, is the idea of curiosity. So when I think of curiosity, I think of rather than getting stuck on making a mistake, thinking about what can I learn from this? How can I take this mistake and make it useful? The other thing is, maybe approaching things like an experiment. The beauty of the scientific method is we don't always know, well, we never know how it's going to end up. The whole point is to experiment and see where something goes. And so for our life, if we're under stress or if we're really struggling, having a curious mind about, what are the different outcomes? What if it actually works out in a way that you want? What if what seems like a mistake is actually, the way that we discovered penicillin? What we thought was a failed experiment of mold turned out to be a life-saving intervention. So let yourself be curious. Let yourself explore and question what a mistake or a problem can actually open up for you. And that concept ties closely into our next word, our fifth word. So maybe if you've started on a Monday, this would be your Friday word. And that is the idea of possibility. Again, earlier I mentioned, what if things turn out all okay? A lot of times we're guided by the worry that what if it goes wrong? What if it goes as bad as I think it might? What if nothing works out? And instead, allow yourself to consider that things might turn out okay. What are the possibilities? You may not know right now what your career is going to be, but what's the possibility that it could end up being something you really love doing with your life? I'm adding a sun just because, it reminds me that whatever's happening today doesn't have to be the be-all and end-all, and that there are further possibilities in our future. What if things get better? What if things go as planned? What are the different possibilities that are out there? What if you end up content? The next word that comes to my mind is, it's actually two words because I know people perceive it differently or have different opinions on this, but the concept of faith or belief. And for me, I'm going to stick with belief because that's what resonates with me. But I do know that, people's spirituality can be a really important part of hope, nurturing, allowing for their curiosity, and believing that there's a purpose, believing that you matter, that the world matters, that there's order and sense, can be a way to give yourself a place of calm, and give yourself an anchor for when it feels like the world doesn't make sense, which these days a lot of the world doesn't make sense. What's a way you can tie into your faith? What are your beliefs and values? Taking time on perhaps, as I mentioned, if you're doing a Monday start with this weekly inspiration, then this would be your Saturday. What's something you can think about that's going to help you follow your beliefs or follow your faith, or that's going to help you strengthen it? This one I'm not going to illustrate because I'm aware that it could look very different for everyone, and I want to leave this one up to your imagination. And our last word, the last word that I think of for now, of what gives me some inspiration to improve my mood if I'm struggling, or build resilience if I know that I'm about to hit some obstacles, is support. You don't have to do it all your own. There might be people in your family, people in your community, people in your neighborhood, people in your organizations, people in your majors or clubs who have the tools that can carry you through if you're willing to ask for some help. I know that some of us lately have been feeling super isolated with the pandemic, and the idea of support just seems so difficult to access. And if you're having one of those moments where you're just not sure how you could get the support you need, if it doesn't feel accessible readily in your community or nearby, just remember that the counseling center is here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are free services for all students. It's virtual, it's safe, and we know that if you are trying all of these strategies and you're still needing a little extra boost, counseling can help. We have ways that can help help people improve their mood and solve some of the struggles they've got going on. Bring you hope, help you stay in the present, help you reframe a situation for curiosity or to see the present, to recognize what the possibilities in your life might be, and to help you figure out what it is that you need to nurture yourself so that you can grow. So people are not my strong suit, but here are my supports. I got some people, maybe some are happy, maybe some are neutral. Whoa, that one looks kind of mad. But they are here, and so are we. So try something. If you're doing a Monday setup, this would be your Sunday. Try to do something every week that's going to help you feel connected, help you feel like you're getting the support you need, seeking it out, finding the people who offer that for you. So these are, the things I think about on a daily basis throughout the week to help me feel inspired, to help me build resilience. Maybe some of them work for you. In the interest of time, I didn't put a ton of time into decorating. So I would encourage you to really think through, what are the words, what are the quotations, what are the concepts that really help you, and how can you best show that so that when you look through these, it can help you stay on track with the goals you have. So once you're done, you can put them together like a flip calendar, or you might want to keep them separate so that you could put it maybe in a paper planner if you have one of those. Stick it on your mirror perhaps, or you might have a whiteboard or a chalkboard that you use to organize your week, wherever you can put it to represent what you need it to be to help you. Now, I happen to have a 1-hole punch in my possession. If you're near a 3-hole punch, you could always just use the 1 hole of the 3-hole punch. But if you don't have any of that, you can always just take a pencil and poke a hole. And then, maybe you have a rubber band or something like a pipe cleaner to hook it all together, or perhaps you just have a paper clip and you can string your daily inspiration to help you build resilience and improve your mood. Thank you for listening and joining. Please share this video if you know anyone would benefit, because we want you to be well so that you can do well. Take care.